VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Would you love to deepen your spiritual connection and create a conscious shift in your life? Do you seek answer to human experience? Well, welcome to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. It's a 2.5-hour safe haven for your questions and Spirit's answers. And you can transform your life right now on VCMG in South Florida. SarahSpiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium who can assist you to connect the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all possible experience and knowledge. For the next 2.5 hours, listen and call in toll-free 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. And watch SarahSpiritual live on Facebook and YouTube and share love and light.
The world is changing now, and we don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart, the ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone. We have hurt each other. The world is changing now. It's asking us to move along, to open up a different way of loving one another. We can't stay the same. We've lost the game of life. We can't run away anymore. The world is changing now. We need to heed the warning. The world is calling you to rise above where you've been. The world is changing now. What we did before doesn't work. It's time for you. It's time for me to change. The world is changing now. Won't you change and open your heart? Open your heart.
Open your heart. Right here on the Oldies station at 866-972-7247. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation. And we can't wait to talk to you. As we navigate the energy around our lives, we find that it's important that we understand who we are. And we find that it's important to create shifts and changes for ourselves. But we don't always know when to do it, how to do it, the best way. And sometimes we set our eye on something, a goal, an objective. Perhaps there's a new job. Sometimes we have someone that we like who's a person of interest. We got a crush on them. You got your eyes set on them. And then we feel this desire to chase them. But people don't really want to be chased. Not in a way that forces them. They want to feel as if they are being respected and not forced to be or do anything. And as they move forward in the drive of life, they don't want to feel that someone else is trying to put themselves upon them. But we as humans, we know we want what we want when we want it. And when we have a crush on someone, then sometimes we want them now because we know that we feel something for them. But sometimes their lives aren't where they need to be in order for them to be accessible for us to form the relationship that we want. And we may, as a person, see in them the ability to be compatible. But sometimes they're just not ready. And I've seen so many people chase relationships right out the door, or potential relationships, because they wanted to push and make someone be ready for something that they weren't ready for. Just because you yourself are ready. I heard Spirit say to me earlier today, every flower has its time to bloom. So everybody has their own pace. But in life, we need to know when to be still, how to allow things to come to us. We need to understand that when we push, we may get some version of what we want, but it's never the right version. It's never the version that presents an optimum outcome that's in alignment with the divine plan. And as humans, we can be a little pushy. We want what we want when we want it. And we don't always respect the boundaries. But then there are plenty of times in life that, I got to tell you, if you don't stand up and let yourself be known and chase that brass ring from time to time, you might not make a change. So how do we know? When's the right time to pursue? When's the right time to sit back and kick back and let the universe do its magic? How do we know when is the right time to really go gung-ho and make something happen and overcome the obstacles? Almost like a titan, just being that little warrior and going through all the obstacles and becoming stronger and stronger and reaching the crossing the finish line, reaching that destiny. How do we know? Well, we have to understand who we are first. And we have to understand our nature. What do we normally do when we are afraid? What do we normally do when we feel we're in fight or flight, when we feel the need to control because we're uncertain as to whether everything's going to be okay? Do you try to make it work? What about the times when you feel insecure? Do you find that you're holding on to relationships and things that don't serve you because you don't know what it would be like to be without the relationship, so you stay and you keep trying to force it to work and make it to work, but hey, you've outgrown it. It's time to move on. But the thought of the unknown is just scary. And in today's world, maybe you think of other things like how will I survive and how could I pay the bills and how would things line up for me. So we'll use that as an example. Let's say you're in a relationship that's not working for you. How will you be if you decide you don't want to be in the relationship anymore? Well, the universe will always open up a door, will always help you find a way. But you need to say it in the relationship, at least to the universe first. I need a sign if this is something I'm supposed to stay in or I'm supposed to go. I need a sense of calm and a feeling of I know what I know deep in the core of me so that I can choose what's best for me, and then I can convey it to the person I'm with and figure a way to, well, step out of the relationship. How can we do that? How can we shift our consciousness from that experience? Well, it's easy when you are in touch with you. And I believe that each one of us has this guidance inside that shows us who we are. It whispers to us what's the best thing to do so that we know. But we as humans, we feed into the fear more than we feed into the action. And sometimes action is the action of doing nothing. So you put out to the universe, you're not really happy. You convey to the person you're with that, oh, maybe things aren't working. And then you figure out how it's going to work. But sometimes you can look, but you can't push to make something happen. So just because you want to end a relationship doesn't mean you go sign up for an apartment that you can't afford. Or you look for someone else because you need someone you have to live with in order to be okay. And so they become your safety net. But then we're only going from one relationship to another that's not for the right reasons. Reasons that relationships should be built upon that are romantic relationships. If you're doing a business transaction, well, that's a whole nother story, right? A lot of times we do business with people at work in our companies and our coworkers. We each have a role. We play our part in the corporation or in the business or as team members in a hospital. And we take care of the patient or we take care of the contract. We make sure the client is taken care of, and we come to an agreement. You're going to do this, I'm going to do this, we're going to work together, and everything's going to be covered. That's a transactional business relationship. But when it comes to matters of the heart, it's not transactional. And yes, people outgrow people. People don't always stay at the same level. It's very possible. And given where we are in the spiritual times and the planetary changes, not that I am well versed in astrology, but I'm getting the gist that a lot of people are in a place of reflection and evaluation and looking at relationships and trying to see what the pattern has been, especially if relationships aren't working for them. There's my favorite statement, be still and know that I am God. So you have to be still and wait till you hear the whisper from God that says, go now. Something good is coming. Go now. It'll work out now. And sometimes as humans, we're like, I have an idea and I've got to make it work and I'm going to find a way and make a way, and just exhausting. Have you exhausted yourself lately just trying to make the best of something that isn't working? Have you exhausted yourself just pushing through? Have you exhausted yourself going from thing to thing? Almost, I can see someone flying on a trapeze and just flying and praying as they leap from one that bar is going to be accessible by their hands, and they just reach and they grab it and like, oh, thank God, as they're suspended many feet above the ground. And then you swing for a while, and then you look, where can I leap to next? And you're constantly leaping to find the right place to feel comfortable. Comfortability, contentment is within you. It never leaves you. Never ever left you. You allowed yourself to get all muffled up. You allowed yourself to muck up in your head the things that were bothering you so much that you stepped away from your inner core and inner knowing and inner peace. You're the one who made a move that even when you were doing it, you had a feeling you were pushing to make something happen, and whoops, look, you got what you want. Or you got what you thought you wanted and it fell apart, and now you're in a hot mess. So how do we know when to listen and when to go? You ask for help. Sometimes you ask other humans, people who are more experts, not your friends. Your friends are going to put you in the box that they're comfortable seeing you in. They have a view of you, but they don't know your soul journey. They don't know where you're ultimately meant to be. And quite frankly, family and friends are comfortable with us being how they know us to be. Sometimes a friend or a family member can kind of squash some of our growth because they're comfortable with where you are. You see, it's very uncomfortable when people grow. It's uncomfortable for you, the person who's growing, and other people don't know what to do with it. And you'll notice if you see someone become more successful, a lot of times they'll lose a lot of friends. And then you hear people say, oh, they're just jealous. Well, are they really just jealous, or is it just no longer a vibrational match? Yes, I'm sure some people may be feeling jealous or envious or uncomfortable with the person's growth. But it's really about, it's not a match anymore. And we shouldn't feel badly about that. Not at all, because life is always changing, and the only guaranteed thing we have is that things will always change because everything in nature around us is continually evolving. The planet doesn't even stay still. So why do we think we're going to always be the same? We've got to be in our energy of stillness to come to the realization of what feels good for us, what works for us. And we've got to trust that everything's working out okay. We have to believe that there's value in everything that we do. I believe that each one of us already knows inside of us who we are, where we're meant to be. There's even a part of you that knows your final storyline, even knows who you came to be, even though you haven't gotten to that juncture of your life. There's a part of you that knows. But we're so busy looking over here and looking over there and focusing on what can we make happen. How many goals can we make, and how many records can we break? And how can we survive on the gerbil wheel of life? That we aren't really listening. And tonight I invite you to dig down deep and ask yourself, who are you really? Because I promise you that there's a part of you that understands exactly what you were meant to do with your life. And that regardless of the steps that you've taken and some of the missteps that you've taken, there are elements of who you were born to be. Wow. In everything you did since you were a child. There's that little bit of personality. Maybe you're outgoing. Maybe that outgoing energy is something that is there for you always. But that was evident when you were little. And maybe that very same outgoing energy is what's going to attract just the right person to have just the right outcome, be it for a relationship or work advancement, well, whatever wherever you're meant to be. Or maybe it's your empathy and your compassion and your sensitivity. And maybe as a child you were labeled as too sensitive or too emotional. But now, what was labeled is actually serving you well and allows you to be a great role model, or perhaps a healer or a doctor or even a teacher. It's always there. But there's this stillness inside that we have to achieve. That no matter what's going on in the world, we can manage to be still inside. And well, if there was ever a time when the world was definitely going through its own growth spurt and change, we truly need to be still inside. We truly need to understand our purpose, our meaning, and what our truth is, without being influenced by other people's truth. And if your truth matches someone else's, then great. But if you stand alone in your thoughts, and in the stillness, you still find that you believe what you believe and you feel what you feel, and it resonates with you as something that is aligned with a divine plan, then please don't let anyone break you from that. What if you have one of the most important missions on this earth, yet to be discovered, yet to be expressed? But what if you have that power, that gift inside that is truly meant to express everything you have come to be? And what if you're just getting ready to open it up? And then somebody, because they want to force you back in the box or force you to be like them or make you agree with them because that's their opinion or that's how they feel or that's where they're comfortable seeing you because they've always known you to be a particular type of person, they just push you back. And then you think, who am I to think I could do or try whatever this is? Right? Who am I? Is that really your thought? Is that what's coming from your stillness? Or is it that someone else is trying to keep you where they think you should be? You don't push if you don't know what you're pushing for. And you don't push when you don't feel this push from inside that says, go now. Otherwise, you be still. And you take subtle, simple actions towards your goal, towards your destination. So if you want a relationship, I'm not telling you to sit home by yourself, get dressed up and know where to go and hope the next Amazon delivery person is cute and nice, because that might not happen. Could, but not likely. So I'm going to tell you, take the actions, take the steps to just be out and be present and be still within yourself and be still in knowing that you want a partner. I'm not telling you to go chase everyone in the bar. I'm not telling you to go out to the bar and say, today I'm going to meet somebody and count on that. You just be. You just show up. If you're not happy with your job and you know you need to make a change, then first of all, don't sit there in the misery, because for sure you will attract another job that represents more or a different version of misery. So see yourself doing something else. Feel the feeling. Be still in that for a while to make sure it feels right for you, and then tell the universe, I'm ready for change. And then begin the search. And for the heck of it, send resumes out to places that maybe you wouldn't normally think would take you, but maybe something new would open up. I took a job that I couldn't even imagine myself doing, but that job opened up so many doorways for me that it ultimately led me to some of my most successful times financially, my most successful business experiences and recognition and also flexibility that gave me an opportunity that led me here to Florida, that led me here to all of you. All by doing something that I thought really wasn't a good fit, but I thought, well, this is what the universe has put in front of me. Let me give it a try. But there was a lot of uncomfortability around that. But I just felt like things had lined up so easily, and I didn't have to even try very hard. I thought, well, this must be what the universe wants me to do. And you know that uncomfortable spot that I was in when I first got started there? That didn't even last more than 3 weeks. Because after that, I was on to another role, another job at that same company. Sometimes God's just got to get you in the door somehow. And you can't be belly aching that it's not what you want or it's beneath you. Sometimes we all have to take a good step back, be still for a minute, and then when the universe throws open the door, that foot that we're putting our weight on as we're leaning back, we use that to kick off to a great start, a new beginning, new opportunities, ones that we contributed to, but we didn't make happen. We didn't push it. We didn't go against the grain, against the aligned process of the divine plan. Because I promise you, everything you do will fall in order perfectly if you just allow it to. Well, we're trusting that everything tonight was going to fall into alignment for us here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. You're listening to us on the Oldies station on 95.3, 95.9, 96.9, 106.9, 104.3 in Miami, 104.7 in HD3, and 103.1 on HD3. Yeah, we get around. Well, we're sure glad to be with all of you, and we are ready to answer your questions at 866-972-7247. And in our 8 o'clock hour, we've got our resident astrologer, Stacy Holler, calling in to share with us her insight on what's going on with the planets as we check out all of your astrological signs. So be sure to stay on with us and listen to what Stacy has to say in the 8 o'clock hour. But for this minute, we're going to go on and take a minute to hear from our sponsors. And then when we come back, we're going to be welcoming your phone calls. We're going to be popping up on Facebook, SarahSpiritual, or YouTube, SarahSpiritual. And there, too, you can watch and follow the show and ask your questions. I sure want to talk to you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WFLM 104.7 HD3 Palm Beach Shores, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies channel.
SarahSpiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit SarahSpiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at SarahSpiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome back to the next 2 hours of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussions to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect to the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all experience and knowledge. We have another 2 hours to listen and call in 866-9-SARAHs. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart, the ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone.
We are back here live on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, all across the nation at 866-972-7247, and we are answering questions. And I look forward to talking to all of you all across the nation. And as we move forward, we want to ask you one really important question. How do you know what you're meant to do next? Because as you know, the world, it's changing. But as we move forward and we look to make changes in our life, we need to make the choices our way, the way that we need for it to be. So we're looking forward to talking to you here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah at 866-972-7247. We would love to have you answer us on Facebook and YouTube and ask your question. So go ahead and leave your messages there, and we will be right back.
The world is calling you to rise above where you've been. The world is changing now.
Changing now. And we are ready here to talk to all of you. And I want to hear from you on our phone lines at 866-972-7247. And we want to thank everyone who came out for our fabulous class last night. We had a great time at our cord cutting class. We learned to shift our energy and release. It was a good time. And we've got another class coming up at the Expedito Enlightenment Center, and that's going to be on March 18th. No, March 13th. March 13th. Got so many. There is one on the 18th, but first let's talk about the 13th. 13th is Discover Your Past Lives. You have lived many lives. Your soul's been around the block a couple of times, and golly gee, we need to go back in time and take a look at where life has been a good version of you and where maybe you've got some lessons to learn. You have patterns that are repeating themselves here in your life and you can't figure out why you're feeling stuck. Do you have opportunities that are not clicking for you in this lifetime? Do you have moments of deja vu where you feel like I've been here before, I just don't know when or where? Or are there parts of the world that you maybe see on television or in a show? Perhaps someone shows you it and you go, wow, that looks familiar. Maybe you travel and you put your feet down on a piece of land and you sit there and think, this feels like home. It's past life remembering, and we're going to teach you how to delve into those past life rememberings, and that'll be on Thursday, March 13th. It's only $16 to take the class. It is live at our Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach, but don't fret if you're not in West Palm Beach or in South Florida, because you can watch it live online and participate. Go to SarahSpiritual.com. There you'll find all the information. And then we skip ahead to March 18th. I'm so excited for that class. Because our forgiveness class, we're going to do a lot of work. Are you holding on to stuff? You know, that resentment, that hurt, that pain, that stuff that weighs you down? Is there like a storyline that keeps playing in your head? Are you also thinking about things maybe you didn't do correctly in life? And beating yourself up and saying, oh, I made this wrong turn. I should have known better. Look at me now. I'm not financially where I wanted to be. Oh, I didn't think this through. Now I'm in a mess. Oh, look at me. I'm in another relationship that's just the same story again, and I'm not feeling fulfilled. I keep attracting people who don't show up for me, and you're really just beating yourself up. Well, we're going to do a forgiveness class. And what I love about this class is we're not just going to talk about what forgiveness means and explore ways to forgive ourselves and other people. We're also going to do a deep dive and a meditation to clear that energy, along with some music, some singing bowls, and I'll be channeling some songs from Spirit with our singing bowls. So I think that is a really good thing for us to do. So I look forward to seeing you at the Expedito Enlightenment Center, live and online, and go to SarahSpiritual.com. We're going to go to our phone lines. And when I go to my phone lines, we're going to ask you for your question. But first, we always like to hear from Spirit for a minute. If Spirit has something to say when I first connect with you, we'll just allow Spirit to flow, and we're going to ask you what your question is. So I've got to go to New York. I've got Erica on the line. Erica's in New York. Erica, how are you tonight?
Hi. Going through a lot.
You've been better, yes.
Yeah. I just went through a breakup and left, and we got evicted, and I just feel like I don't know what's next. I feel completely
Drained. Yeah.
devastated,
Yeah.
and drained.
Well, this is one of those years that is meant to be a catalyst for shifts and changes. And as a catalyst for shifts and changes, changes sometimes bring challenges. And even though you feel like you're at rock bottom, the universe has a plan to bring you up. Truly sorry that you had to go through that difficulty of not being able to sustain the place and going through that eviction process and everything that that entails, and just feeling like almost like a thief in the night, right? It's just like, oh my God, I've got to get out. And it's just not a comfortable feeling. And so
Yeah.
we also know that breaking up is a hard thing to do, right? And even if we know it's the better thing to do at the end of the storyline, it's not an easy thing to go through. But you are actually doing everything perfectly on time for the place where your soul is. So as uncomfortable as everything is, just trust that it's working out to the divine plan and allow it to unfold. Allow the universe to put before you new opportunities, because after your birthday, which is coming up, so we wish you a very happy birthday, you're like, well, it hasn't been an easy year, Sarah, so how's it going to be a good birthday? I'm telling you. I am telling you that this year is going to open up some new horizons, a new beginning, and I actually see another love coming. So I want you open to that. And I want you to trust that the universe has a better plan for you. I'm also in this thought process that you also learned who your friends are and where you could have support and where you didn't have support. Is that also true?
Absolutely.
So now you know. Better to know, right?
Yeah.
Is there a
Now I
follow-up?
kind of feel like I don't have any friends.
So we cleaned house. If you don't have any friends going through all of that, then I guess they weren't your friends to begin with.
Yeah.
You cleaned house.
I'm going through it even with my sisters and my mother. Not talking to me. I just feel like I don't know what's next. I feel extremely overwhelmed.
Yeah. You're being literally broken down so God can remold you. And it is, and anyone who's been through it, the worst place to be. When everything we think we knew, everything we thought we knew of people, just all seems to be falling apart and doesn't even seem anywhere close to the reality that we're living in. And there's nothing that I can tell you to make you feel better, just that this too shall pass. And your sister and your mother will come along. But, you know, people, if you listen to the monologue, they like to see us in the box that we're in. So they may not agree with all your choices.
Exactly.
They don't want to see you change. They don't want to see you grow. They think you should just stay where you are, keep up the appearances. That's not who you are. When you want to grow, we can't worry about what other people are thinking. And they're just showing you out of their concern and their love for you and their need to control you, that they need you in the box that they're comfortable in. And hashtag, you're not taking it anymore.
I'm not.
And so up you go. So even though you feel devastated, I also want you to look in the mirror and I want you to say that I'm empowered. I am empowered.
Yeah.
Because I am writing the script of my life. God and I have got a plan, and we're going to make this plan, and we're not going to subscribe to anybody else's idea of who they think we are. You're stepping in the stillness to come to know who you are. An uncomfortable place to be, but a powerful place to be. And with this power, I promise you that you're going to find yourself a really cool spot in your life that is really going to vibe with you, and you're going to be relieved that you went through all this, even though it's feeling awkward. And then I know the next follow-up question would be, oh, well, when is that going to happen, SarahSpiritual? It's really not that far away. when I look at these next 2-3 months, they are very set in creating the new path for you. And I really feel like when we get into June, we're going to have a better idea and feel a lot better about things and have a new direction and path coming. And Erica, was there some new work or activity for money that we were looking into? Because I do see that as well.
Well, I've dipped in a couple of different things.
Good.
I'm just not totally sure how to go about, like there's something in particular I should be focusing more on.
Well, be still. Keep opening those doors of opportunities and dabbling in them, and then let it take form. And whatever takes form in the most solid way and also resonates with you and feels good, that's the way you're going to go. Well, we're truly sorry that you went through such upheaval, but we do know that it's working out for the best of you. The universe is always conspiring for us, never against us. So trust the process, Erica. Glad to make connection with you again. We wish you a very happy birthday and keep us posted. Bye for now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 866-972-7247. We're going to go back to our phone lines, and we've got Freddie. And Freddie is in Miami Gardens. Freddie, how are you today?
I am okay. How are you?
Well, good. Okay is a great way to be. Good to have you with us. What is your burning question for us,
Always
Freddie?
good to be back. Work, money. Things are kind of tight, and I don't know.
Well, it's tight, but you make it from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. Is that true?
I mean, barely is.
But we do. So we just trust that process. We trust the process and know that the universe is giving you everything you need for what you need, and then that they will eventually give you what you need for what's extra for you, what you require for your joy, your desires, your playfulness, your experiences. And know that as we look at work and we reposition ourselves into a new job, a new opportunity, then we're going to be able to make more money. But right now you're kind of in a holding pattern. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, but here's the plus. And I say this to you, Freddie, and I say this to everyone who's in a job that they're not so sure they really want to be in, and they're uncomfortable, and they're hoping there's a change, but no change is coming, and they're feeling stuck. God will open the door when it's time. You have to just keep poking at the new possibilities and then wait for the opportunity to make the change. And trust that it's going to happen. And be grateful that you have work. Because if we wallow in the energy of dissatisfaction, that dissatisfaction will get us kicked out of the job, and here we are complaining that we barely have enough to make ends meet. Where would you be if you didn't have a job? Not in a pretty place.
Well, that's where I am. I don't have a job. I've been looking for work for like months. So, yeah.
Okay. And when you, because you left the other job, is that right? That job that was giving you a hard time? Was that what happened a couple months ago?
Well, it's been a while, but yeah, they had released me. I didn't leave them. Yeah, they released me.
Missed you. Mm-hmm. Keep putting out the resumes. We're making it through. Just trust the universe is going to open up something for you. And know that everything in the world is moving slower than normal, which I know you may say doesn't help you pay your bills, but it'll definitely open up for you just in the nick of time. You have yet to land on your feet. Every time something gets pulled out from under you, you land on your feet. So we know that something good is coming. Right? If a cat has 9 lives, you got 29. So we know that you're going to be okay. So just trust the experience and look for some change to come sometime the action, the activity to come sometime towards the end of this month of March, and you things should start moving and marching on. No pun intended, in the next couple of months. But you start to see some activity, Freddie. All right. And also give thought and consideration of things that you can do externally that have nothing to do with your current job, or your current type of job, I should say. And think of it like a little business you can do or something you can do online. Start to think outside the box. Maybe you've outgrown the traditional work environment because you just don't like to do the politics. Because quite frankly, the politics is a little disconcerting for you.
Right.
Be open to new possibilities, Freddie. We thank you for your call. We thank you for following the show. We know you've been following us since 2009, so we are greatly appreciative of that and the journey that we have had with you, and we look forward to talking to you again. Bye for now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 866-972-7247. I sure do want to talk to my friends on Facebook and YouTube. Put your questions in the feed because we're going to be getting to you in just a minute. But before we do that, we've got to go to Connecticut. We've got Andy on the line. Andy, how are you?
Hi, Sarah. How's your evening?
My evening as well. Thank you so much, Andy. Good to make this connection with you. I know that these have been some heavy times for you at this time. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So my question has to do with we had spoken back in January, and life was beautiful and well. And over the past 3 weeks, 2 major events happened in my life, back to back, that drastically alter my life. And it was
one has to do with your mother, right? Your mother.
Yeah. Yes. And then the other one was the relationship that I was in ended at the same time.
Yeah,
and
I just wrote breakup.
Yeah, and so it's a funny question, but like I knew that it would end, and now I also feel like my purpose here where I am is coming to a close. And I guess it's a 2-part question. Part one is like, did my mother foresee something in spirit that she knew I had to end it, or it had to end because I was asking for signs, so it manifested. And then kind of like what the next chapter of my life holds now that
absolutely
this one is coming to an end.
So let's first of all step back, because Mom has just recently passed, so she'll give you a sign to let you know that she's okay, but she's not quite in the energetic frequency that she can kind of facilitate or help make changes or give you a sign that something's supposed to end, because she hasn't even really processed all of her experiences here on Earth yet, now that she has crossed over. But she does say thank you for everything that you have said, and she told me that you spoke beautifully for her. Did you deliver a message or some type of eulogy for your mom, please?
What's funny is my brother actually did. So maybe that's a message for him, but my brother did.
Your brother did.
And then, yeah.
So your brother delivered the eulogy because she's saying thank you. It was very well said. She's making me feel like it was very heartfelt and a very much included memories and connections, and connects the dots of family. So it wasn't just about her, but it was about the connections in family. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Yes, 100%.
Well, the breakup, what is the person's birthday that we just stepped away from?
February 16th, 1990 something.
All right.
96?
So here's somebody who clearly doesn't really know what they want. They think they know what they want. They're in it when they're in it, but then when they're out, right? So there's not a stability in this time in their life, so it's hard, but they really tried to show it for you. And I will tell you that they were the best version of themselves when they were with you. You made it very easy for them to be, and that should be something that you have as a takeaway. And they may have even said something like that to you in the ending of the relationship. They also don't handle stress and very deep emotions very well. So that's also a little bit much for them. So they are definitely off to make changes in their own life. And this is a year of closure and endings for them and big changes. All right. They've got big changes. And unfortunately, you were one of them. For you, where you are in this journey is a time for you to really build a new business, build a new brand, find new work. And that work is not limited to where you are now. And I feel that your next work or work project is going to be what determines where you live and where you go from here. It is going to be something that is driven by a financial picture, a financial outlook, a financial plan that is your next steps for the next few years. So we want to make a choice based on what is the financially sound place to go, what holds the most value for the work that I do, where will my new projects be. You're going to ask those questions in determining where you go from there. Your time there, where you're living in Connecticut, is, I know you were here in Florida and then off you went to Connecticut. I really feel like by July you should be out of there. Why are you laughing?
I'm sorry. Because I was just having the same conversation with my brother. And ironically, about the whole work thing, my ex-partner and I, we actually started a new business that then he left. So now my whole entire moving plan has to do with where can I make the most money with this new business that I'm creating, actually. So it's just, I'm laughing because it just, my spirit is happy at what you're saying. I'm sorry.
Yes. And you're right on target, right? And spirit is confirming that. I mean, I don't know all those details, right? And spirit's like, oh, follow the trail of your work, your projects, your money. That's what's going to end you in the right place, right? Place you where you need to be. This is what you have to focus on. Yeah. And by doing that, you'll just align yourself with all the right opportunities and all the right people. And then, of course, all the right opportunities for love, right? So in this moment, your time is to build business and also to grieve the loss of your mother, who was very beloved. And I know that you will miss her, but she is definitely with you and with your brother. And she's going to be around for a while, available to send you some little signs. And then if you don't feel like you feel her for a while, just know that she's processing her energy and she will be back to reconnect with you again later on in the year. All right? I hope that I've been of some help to you today, and we are truly sorry for the loss of your mom.
Thank you. I appreciate it, as always.
Welcome.
You're the best.
Thank you. Bye for now. 866-972-7247. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then when we come back, I sure do want to speak to you right here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. And be sure to put your comments and your questions in your Facebook page on SarahSpiritual and on our YouTube page, because we're going to be going to Facebook and YouTube when we come back from this commercial break.
I've been standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen?
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956, or visit SarahSpiritual.com. or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with SarahSpiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Did you call me with your song? Because you know that you know me.
Every soul has its journey. What's your journey? Well, we're going to find out here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation at 866-972-7247. And we want to talk to you, and we also want to chat with our friends on Facebook and YouTube. So go to Sarah's Spiritual page on Facebook and go to Sarah's Spiritual page on YouTube. Be sure to like the page, follow the page, come hang out with us. But at this minute, I need to go to my friends on Facebook and YouTube and see who's got what going on and see what questions I can answer for people. So we've got Marissa Lee. Hello. As you said, I always love when people start that way. As you said, Sarah Spiritual. As you said, I found my fur baby, Sweetie Lee, before Thanksgiving last year. She's safe and sound. Thank you. Well, Marissa Lee, we are so glad. Never in a million years did I think I'd be like the detective pet psychic, but yes, that too has happened here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. We found a few fur babies in our time. These little fur babies, I wish they'd just all stay close to home so we don't have to lose our minds worrying about them. But Marissa Lee, we are really glad that your fur baby found their way home, and we are so glad that Spirit gave us the right guidance. I just trust what I hear, and I'm worried so much when little animals are out and they don't know where they are and how to get back home to us. So congratulations, we're glad, and we're appreciative of the guidance that Spirit gives us all so that we can all remain calm and peaceful and trust that God always has our back. We're going to take another question from our friends on Facebook and on YouTube. We got Ann. We've got Ann, and Ann says to us, hey, my dad's birthday is coming up, and my birthday's coming up, and she's saying, well, I really, really miss him. And she's wondering, how that's really playing out, and if he's really missing her too, and his being on the other side, and she wants to know if it's still anything he wants to say. And so when I look at the energy and I connect to this vibration of your dad, the first thing that I see here is that there's a part of you that holds on to this loss and this sorrow, and there's some parts of you that haven't really healed. And the heaviness that you carry is not the heaviness he wants you to live with. He wants you to be happy and joyful. And at night, yes, sometimes you can have a dream with him, or you can think you see him. But when you feel the energy, because I know when you feel the energy that it bothers you, and I know it bothers you at night, I want you to remember one thing. Yes, we're physically sad that he's not physically here with us to talk to laugh with, to plan with, to run ideas with. But he's in such a high vibrational place that when we let our energy bother us, when we shed tears, and I know we're human and we're all going to cry and we're all going to feel badly. Even I myself can still cry at times over those that I've lost. And I would say I know better than to get emotional over it, because when we get that emotional, when we let it bother us, we lower our vibration and we make it harder for them to connect to us. So does he know that it still bothers you that night, what happened between the two of you? And yes, he knows, but he doesn't want things to bother you anymore. He wants you to be in the energy of love and be in the energy of forgiveness and trust that he's in a better place and that he does send you love, and that love is what will always connect the two of you and forever. Thank you so much for your Facebook question. We greatly appreciate it. We're going to take another question before we go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. But we'd like to pull a question from Facebook and YouTube if there's another one available for us here. We got Mary Katie. And Mary Katie says, "Hey, Sarah, is the universe nudging me, my son, to leave his job?" All right, let's take a look at your son. And, well, the universe nudging your son, or is your son nudging your son? That's a good question. So first thing that I see here in this storyline is your son is going through expansion and growth and starting to feel the nudge and need for something different or more, not necessarily for him to leave the job yet. After his birthday in the month of March, then we begin to move him into the energy of there should be some other growth or learning or aspect of his job that he needs to kind of take on so that he can be more creative and be more expansive in his knowledge and his work, so that then when he leaves his job, he's not making a lateral move as much as he's making a job move that's going to offer him growth, expansion up, additional money, and responsibility that will give him a different role. So it's not time for him to leave yet, but I do feel that your son will be leaving his job by the end of 2025. I can't believe I have to say that, but blink 3 times, everyone, because the year is moving. So, Mary Katie, tell your son to work on his skill set, expand his ideas, embrace that energy, and then make his plans to make his move, but closer to the end of 2025. Well, we're going to go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. And I've got to go to Louisiana, and I've got Brooke on the line. I think we've got Brooke on the line. Brooke, how are you? Are we with you, Brooke?
Line, hello.
Hello, honey. Yeah, you've got your phone on mute, and now you've just popped right back. Good to have you here. Thank you so much. Thank you for being on hold, and thank you for listening to the show while you've been on hold. We greatly appreciate that as well. Miss Brooke, what is your burning question for us tonight?
Well, I feel like when it comes to my romantic side and everything and the aspect, I feel like I'm going through a rough spot, if you know what I mean. Because I don't think it's me, but I feel like it's guys that I talk to, and then they just like
Disappear.
abandon talking to me and all that kind of stuff.
They disappear, right?
Yeah, and it like I know it can't be me because I feel like I don't do anything wrong, but there are times where I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why is this happening to me?
Well,
You know.
we're gonna break it down the way Spirit says it. So hear me, but hear the whole thing before you come to a conclusion as to what you think I just said. So
Okay.
can't be you, but it can, because you're the common denominator. So are you doing or saying anything wrong? Absolutely not. You're expressing your truth, you're expressing your goals, you're expressing, who you are, and who you are as a nice person is really conveying to people that, I want to have a relationship. I want to have a personal relationship with someone. I want to have a committed relationship with someone. I eventually want to have a life with a person, provided it's the right person, right? So you're saying all the things that you desire for your future. I know it's not all in the first conversation, but, as the conversations progress before they don't really continue to show interest, you're saying your truth. And no one can tell you not to speak your truth because you know what you want. But you being the common denominator is that you keep attracting people who are emotionally unavailable and not really willing to participate and have and do what you want. So you are that common denominator in that, and that is your little girl who is still attracting your little aspect of yourself, your little girl inside of you, that is attracting people who are not as emotionally available as you are, who don't value what you bring to the table. And it's really people who don't hold you in the highest of regard and value your authenticity and your truthfulness and your sweetness and your kindness and your personality, and which makes me feel that underneath the surface, the way Spirit shows me, there's an insecurity of you not feeling good enough or worthy, even though you're doing and saying things that, are true and are the right thing. But inside, your little aspect of self, your little girl, your fragmented piece of you, is also holding on to criticism from the past, difficulties with others, and this is all hanging inside of you. And you need to do some healing work on that. Then you'll attract a better quality partner who's really willing to explore what you want and take it at the beginning, right? Step by step, and come to an understanding of who you are and who they are, and if it's a synergy, and if it works, and then we move on from there. We say, hey, great getting to know you. This has been real. This has been fun. But we're not on the same page, and off they go. But you're not even getting that conversation, and that's what's off-putting to you, and that's what has you scratching your head. Correct, Brooke?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you speak for many people, and I will tell you that I hear this from men, and I hear it from women. And because I sit across from so many people on a day-to-day basis in personal sessions, I hear the story, and I go, oh, good Lord. But there are a lot of people who are really saying they want to date and want a relationship, but they really don't. They're saying they want to, move in with someone or have a life, but they don't really want to. Or they think they know what they want, but they're thinking there might be something better around the corner, so they want to keep looking and they don't want to commit because they just want to make sure they make the right choice for themselves. So people are a little wishy-washy these days, especially in the dating world.
That's why I'm trying to find my way, grow a backbone, gain confidence, so I can feel like I'm worthy, to attract somebody.
Correct. And you are. I know you know that in your mind, but somewhere inside of you, your little girl is feeling off-put. Did you and I ever, I know we did something on air, but did you and I ever do a one-on-one soul integration yet?
I don't think we have.
Okay. Well, I strongly suggest that when you can, you go to SarahSpiritual.com, you go to the page that says sessions, and you look for the session that says soul integration, and you sign up for that. Even if you have to, plan to add that to your budget over the next few weeks, just sign up for that. And this way you and I can do the work so that we can bring you that much closer to the proper relationship partner, so you're not continuing to be on the gerbil wheel of the dating life, because we know that is exhausting.
Absolutely.
All right, my dear Brooke, good to talk to you again. We're sorry that you're experiencing this, but everything happens for a reason. Remember that you are emotionally safe, the universe has your back, and everything's always working out for you. So trust that the universe will orchestrate the perfect love at the perfect time. But until we speak again, bye for now.
Bye.
866-972-7247. I've got to keep going on my phone lines, and I've got to go to Cheryl. We're going to see if we've got Cheryl on the line, because Cheryl's in West Palm Beach, Florida. Cheryl, how are you?
Hi, I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well, Cheryl. I do believe we talked just recently. Is that correct?
We've had a couple of sessions, yes.
Okay, so what is your question for me? How can I further assist you on this journey?
So I know we've talked about my finances getting better. Unfortunately, they have not. They've gotten a bit worse, and I'm just trying to figure out the correct career path and what's going to happen with my finances.
Well, we talked about that, and we've talked about it a few times, but it's still been a short time. Is that correct?
Yes.
And when a ship is caught in a storm and it is being tossed around, it's kind of difficult for us to right the rudders and turn the ship in a better direction, because we're still in the middle of the storm. And unfortunately, you're still in the aftermath or the undertide or towed of, or undercurrent of the storm. And so we just need things to turn around a bit for you. So just because it doesn't appear that the finances are better yet in the physical, if I see it better, that means in the energy, it is getting better in the energy. It just hasn't manifested and physically shown up here for you yet. So when you feel concerned, and we all understand that concern, we've all probably had that moment where, like, holy Christmas, what am I going to do? So just know that the universe has your back. Everything's working out for you. You're financially and emotionally safe, and everything is going to be fine. And that's not a delusional speech. That's just a speech that creates the energy and makes you magnetic to attract what you want. What is the specific direct question regarding career? Is there something that we're leaning towards or torn between, so that I can help you in that journey, please?
I could go in two different directions, whether it's real estate, jewelry, or something entirely different. And I'm just trying to figure out which path to take, and hoping maybe to get a little advice, because I know energy is everything. And when I'm so engulfed in fear, I know that I really can't create the things that I need to, and kind of have a clear path.
And I think when we spoke, we also talked about the ability to have both the jewelry and the real estate, because real estate's always something that you can still have. And that's still the journey that I see. And, you know, where I see the fear really playing into blocking your opportunities is in the real estate. Like right now, I feel like, you know, the real estate industry, from what I've gathered from people that I've sat across from, it's gone through some changes, and the market is maybe not what it used to be, not what we need it to be. So there's some shifts and changes going on there. But we know that everything has cycles, and we're just in a little cycle, and that too is going to pass. But the fact that things are in this little bit of a wobble in the real estate industry, in a cycle, you're in your personal wobble, it's exacerbating your fear. So it's actually blocking things from coming to you. And so I feel like your jewelry business is still a great business to delve into and really promote more, because that will build momentum and residual income over time, right? We will continue to build more customers, and people will continue to come to you. A new career is something that would be exciting and fresh and doesn't have any history, because both of the other opportunities, your jewelry and your real estate, you have fear around both of them, because they both have history, and not all of the memories of the history are good. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
So to step away from them and create some new enthusiastic opportunity that quick brings in some extra money, like, this is what I hear from Spirit, what if you did something as a personal assistant for someone that was not a full-time gig, but a part-time gig to get some things going for you? And then if a real estate call came in, your attention wouldn't be on the fear and the absence of a deal. Your attention would be on your new venture. Then your real estate phone would be able to ring. And then you'll be more energetic because you've got things going for yourself. And they're like, okay, let me dive into my jewelry website. Let me get this thing going here. Let me build and brand a little bit more. Let me get the word out that I'm back in town. You see how we approach these things? Sometimes we have to step back and be still, but in your case, we can't afford to be still and do nothing. We have to choose something else to kind of create this new enthusiasm, because you're missing the enthusiasm of the experience of work and career. And when we look at the Greek word enthusos, it's of God, right? It's this joy of God. And so we need to get you back in that joy of God. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
So
Absolutely.
is it possible that we can network with some of the people we know, and even if it's someone you know in the real estate business, maybe they need someone who's can do some administrative things but has knowledge of the real estate industry. Maybe you can find a place doing something like that.
Mm-hmm. Certainly.
Just to kind of get yourself going so you don't hold on to this, oh my God, what's going to happen in the next 3 months, right?
Yes.
You'll be fine. In the nick of time, everything always works out. All right?
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye for now.
Bye.
866-972-7247. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. This is where we talk to all of you every Wednesday night from 6:30 to 9 p.m. all across the nation, on Facebook, on YouTube. People listen to us on the iHeart Media app, which we just get around. And so we are going to go to California. And I've got Sylvia on the line. Let's see if we've got Sylvia. Sylvia, how are you? Are you with us, Sylvia? All right, maybe we don't have Sylvia in California, so we're going to pop in and we are going to go to David. David is in Fort Lauderdale. David, how are you tonight?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good to make this connection with you, David. How did you hear about us?
Mysteriously, for whatever reason, just driving down the radio station came on my dial, and I was compelled to give you a call.
Well, wonderful. I love that. And that's not a mystery to me. That's called divine intervention. That's spirit just intervening and creating for us what we need. David, I want you to know that this year represents putting yourself in better order and balance. So if you've been feeling a little out of sorts, this year is going to kind of put things in a better balance for you. I also see it as a year of learning to surrender the things that aren't working so that you can make the changes that you want. You think you're making some changes having to do with your work and career to advance yourself a bit more, please?
Yeah, the career has always been okay. I've always been financially okay, but I do have like 3 different opportunities to stay in the same career, but just different parts of the country. So that is a struggle that I'm dealing with.
It is, and that's why we're talking about career. Not saying that it's not okay, but it's a year to put it in better order and balance, and we need to really kind of surrender the outcome. We need to see what is going to yield us the best quality of life. When I think of balance, I think of work-life balance. I think of what's going to allow us to play and have the life that we want, and what's going to give us the right scenery that's going to make us feel good, what's going to reward us financially and give us an opportunity to continue to grow, but not lose ourselves in the job that we become a workhorse and we don't have the joy of experiencing life the way we're meant to. Do you have the 3 locations that are up for grabs? Perhaps you can rattle off the city or the state that they're in, and we can get Spirit to weigh in for you.
Staying in South Florida, where I am currently working. think I could go back to Pittsburgh, but I have a better opportunity in Greenville, South Carolina.
South Carolina. South Carolina's number 1. Florida's number 2. Do not go back to Pittsburgh. That is not
So
a place for
you're saying
you.
that-
You have outgrown Pittsburgh, and you are ready for change. So South Carolina would be a good opportunity for you. You have to see if you enjoy the energy there and if it is conducive for the life that you want. But South Carolina would be definitely a good opportunity for you. Staying in South Florida will give you some growth and some familiarity. Only you know how much of a change you want in your life. But this is a year for you to find that balance and rhythm. And this change and this decision is something that I feel will be made in kind of April 30th is kind of a timeline that makes me feel like you're going to really kind of lean more one way than the other and then begin to do the due diligence to make that happen. Do we have a deadline for when we're supposed to take this new opportunity?
I mean, it sounds like April 30th is that deadline, right? If that's what the universe is telling you to tell me.
Yeah, April 30th has the feel for that for you here, but I don't know what the corporate lingo is around all of that, you see. But that's when I think you'll have a better sense of what you want to do. It's not to rush into it, but are you up for a drive for South Carolina?
I am. I actually just made the Pittsburgh to South Florida trip again. So traveling is not anything new to me.
Well, then go to South Carolina and see if that feels like they've got the right vibe, the right people that are conducive to the life you want to create for yourself, right? Because what I want you to take away from this call, and I want you to focus on for this year, your gift from the universe is this year is balance. But balance is not just about, yeah, everything's always working great at work and there's always opportunities and I'm always growing and I'm always traveling, because there's more to life than work. So we need to strike up a flow. Yes.
It's the possible move to South Carolina would be with the idea of like starting a relationship with someone that is there and that we've had a relationship with. And so, you know, financials, forget that. It's about the love connection.
Correct. So it sounds like the decision is already made. The universe is sending you to South Carolina. You just need to pack your bags and get yourself there so you could have that love balance in your life that we need to focus on. I think we are pretty much in alignment. I do hope you keep us posted and let us know how all the story turns out. And there's no coincidences. You know, things always happen for a reason. And you're my favorite call to take. Someone cruising down the highway and just feels compelled to call. I'm really excited at these new opportunities. All right. Thank you so much. We are getting ready to run to commercial, but we greatly appreciate your following the prompting of Spirit, and let us know where you land in South Carolina. Bye for now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 866-972-7247. We're going to go to commercial, but then when we come back, we have Stacy Holler popping in. And do you know that she's here in South Florida? She couldn't quite make it into the station tonight, but I got to tell you, she's actually in sunny South Florida, and she's going to be sharing with us what the planets have in store for us, and we're going to get to see how she feels being in some fun in the sun here in South Florida. So stay with us, everyone. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
It's just not easy to be who we want to be.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WFLM 104.7 HD3 Palm Beach Shores, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies channel.
Hi, I'm SarahSpiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, SarahSpiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, SarahSpiritual, at SarahSpiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
SarahSpiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit SarahSpiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with SarahSpiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
It's an 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
The world is changing now, and we don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart, the ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone. We have hurt each other. The world is changing now. It's asking us to move along, to open up a different way of loving one another. We can't stay the same. We've lost the game of life. We can't run away anymore.
Back here live on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, all across the nation. I just got to find out. Someone's got to tell me, what number show are we on here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah as we get ready to count up to our 16-year anniversary. I guess I have to start talking about that because that's going to be in May, end of May into June. So we are really getting ready for our 16-year anniversary celebration. Wonder what we're going to be doing for all of that. Can't believe that much time has gone on here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, but we're grateful for all of you and really proud to be connecting with each one of you. Love your questions tonight, and we're going to have some insight coming up in just a minute from our dear friend Stacy Holler, and she's going to be sharing with us what is going to be happening in the astrological clock that's going on here. And as we tune in to Stacy, we also want you to all keep in mind that we are looking for your comments on Facebook and your comments on YouTube. And, of course, we're going to continue to answer your questions. So don't hesitate to call in at 866-972-7247 because there we're going to be answering your calls as well. So we're going to take a call from Stacy, who is in sunny South Florida. Stacy, how are you doing?
I am very happy to be down in Florida, and the sun feels great, Sarah, I have to say.
Doesn't it feel great? Good to have you here, and we're glad you're enjoying this beautiful energy of South Florida, please. I'm so excited that you are here with us, and we really wish you could have been in the studio, but we know you just landed and you're just getting settled, so we appreciate that. So what is it that you're seeing here for us in this astrology world?
There's a lot going on this month that we really want to talk about. I know, and it's always so interesting to me when I listen to your opening and really you're talking astrology. Because one of the things that just went retrograde, Venus just went retrograde on the 1st, a few days ago. And in your opening, talking about time to reconsider love, rethink about love relationships. I'm like, yep, she's talking about the Venus retrograde. So that is kicking off our month. Now, we always hear retrogrades, and we all know about the Mercury retrograde, and that's going to kick in on the 15th. So I wanted to share a little bit with everybody what the differences are and what to look out for. And then we kicked off eclipse season this month. So on the 14th, and you know what that means, and I always say they're like the full moons and the new moons on steroids. They're supercharged. They kick it up much more intensely. So we'll talk about the full moon on the 14th, which is in Virgo. It is a lunar eclipse. And then we want to talk about the solar eclipse and the super new moon in Aries on the 28th. You know, when we look at monthly horoscopes, that's really what we like to focus on because it's the energies of the full moons and the new moons during the month that guide us and make us look in certain areas in our life. So we'll dig in a little bit to those. But I know people are probably wondering, what is a Venus retrograde, right?
I know, but It's just jam-packed with a whole bunch of stories. So what is the story on the Venus retrograde, Stacy?
And the reason I do bring it up is because as astrologers, and I get calls very often when people want to know when's a good time to start a new job? What is a great date to get married? That's a very common question. And people always think about the Mercury retrograde, and that is a time where you don't want to start, if you don't have to, a new job, a new contract moving forward. But the Venus retrograde is really what you want to pay attention to. That's not a time to start a new relationship or to plan a wedding and get married. It is a time to reevaluate, to slow down. Things could get delayed or things could change. You might meet somebody new in a Venus retrograde, but it doesn't turn into love until maybe after the retrograde. So it is a time that you want to reevaluate. That's what the retrogrades mean. And even in Mercury, I know you were talking to some folks tonight about looking for new work and new jobs. It's during the retrograde that is a great time to consider them. And it's also a great time to look back. You know, in a Venus retrograde, you might have an old lover pop up. In a Mercury retrograde, an old boss might pop up and offer you a job. So it's a great time to do things that come from the past, but not to start new things. So,
but also,
Stacey,
let's just look at this one thing though, because sometimes in a Venus retrograde energy, isn't it possible if you do a new love does pop up and you do connect with them, they could also be a past life love or something very karmic that you have to work through. Is that also part of a Venus retrograde?
Yes, absolutely. But they're there to work through old karma then. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to move forward with them. Maybe you just have to clean up some old business.
Right.
Or figure that out. And that's when they should go into your past lives class, Sarah, so they can figure out who those people are and what they're supposed to be dealing with, quite frankly. But yes, so in a retrograde, it is the things that you need to take a look at and to pause. And the same thing in a Mercury retrograde, things might come up from the past too, and they're coming back for a reason. But that doesn't necessarily, the reason may be for you to finally come to a conclusion about that or a decision about that. And when people start a new job, possibly during a Mercury retrograde, it just doesn't mean it's not going to work out, but it might change. So it made me think of what you were talking about earlier, Sarah, earlier in your career where you took a job that you weren't sure it was going to be your lifelong, but a month or two later started to turn into something wonderful.
Right.
Or different, or change direction. And that could happen during a Mercury retrograde, too. So things all do happen for a reason. But in retrogrades, pretty much for this month, and, you know, retrogrades have a few weeks shadow afterwards where we're still feeling that energy. It's more of a time to slow down, take a look, and reevaluate. Now, you mentioned karma. We're going to talk about that because that's the karmic lessons for us also come up in this lunar eclipse, this full moon in Virgo on the 14th. That's in a full moon is when we get some transformation, new information comes to light. Many times it is about karmic lessons. And then on the solar eclipse, the new moon in Aries on the 28th, that's also unexpected opportunities may come up, but it's more of a new beginning time. The full moon is more of an endings time that really clears the air for new beginnings that can happen a few weeks later during a full moon. A new moon. So we're going to take a look for everybody in your signs and see where the full moon is affecting you and where the new moon is affecting you. Keep in mind, though, that we are through a retrograde, so it's a time for thoughtfulness, listening to your gut. And when the surprises come up to you, and we'll talk about what areas in your life, it's really for you to make a move, clear the air, so you're able to move forward. So pay attention to your rising sign if you know it, as well as your sun sign. And should we rock around the clock, Sarah?
Let's rock around the astrological clock and see what's ticking and what moon is shining and what Venus is retrograde and what Mercury is retrograde and what the heck's going to happen to all of us in each sign. I'd love to know what we can look forward to and what we might want to make a note of and just be aware of as we're going through it. So, Stacy, take us around the clock.
All right, and let's focus on what areas are going to be highlighted for us. So we always start with the first sign, Aries. The full moon is in Virgo in your 6th house. So on this full moon, your focus is on health. Time to make that doctor's appointment. What do you have to pay attention to? It's also about work. Do you need to change work? Maybe you'll get a surprise at work, a new boss, a reorg. So look for something shaking a little bit in your house of work and health where you need to pay attention. And the new moon for you, the solar eclipse, it's in the 1st house, your house, your personal identity. Maybe you're going to finally dye your hair that new color or change your appearance or figure out this is the person I am and I'm going to step into it now and show it to the world. Now, Taurus, the full moon for you is in the 5th house. That's your house of romance. That's your house of talents. So time to get out there. Maybe you'll get highlighted for something you really haven't put out there yet that you should. Or in romance, you might meet someone new. It's also the house of children. And also because of the combination with the retrograde Taurus, you might see an old flame coming back into your life. Now, the new moon for you is in your 12th house. That's inner healing. That's looking within. So if you really need to move on and have a release on this full moon, go to someone who can help you, a counselor, a holistic advisor, someone that could help you heal. Now, Gemini, this full moon is in your 4th house. That's home and family. So are you looking to make changes in your home? Are you thinking about fixing something up or maybe a move? You're not going to do anything till after the Mercury retrograde, but you might be thinking of changes going on in your family life too. Now, the new moon for you is in your house of friends and groups. Maybe it's a time you're going to figure out who do you want to be with and who do you not want to be with. What groups do you want to be aligning to? And if the people around you aren't giving you what you need, then it's time to make a change. Now, Cancer, this full moon for you is in your house of communication, in your neighborhood, your siblings, your writing projects. Maybe a project you've been working on will take off. You, too, could reach out to past connections. And there's a lot to be found in your own neighborhood. And your new moon for you, Cancer, that's in your career house. So that is envisioning where do you want to move in your career. It could be a breakthrough time, maybe about a new job, maybe a new business opportunity comes in your way, but there's a change in your career path with this new moon. Leo, the full moon coming up, that's in your house of money and values. Time to get clarity. Put your money in order. Redo your budget. I know it's tax time, so get you everything in order for you. And it could bring you some new money opportunities. Now, the new moon for you is in the 9th house, out in the world, traveling, studying. So maybe it is time on that day you'll have an epiphany and an opportunity to plan a new trip. Or maybe you're going to go to a class. Or maybe you were studying something a while ago and you want to pick that up again and you're going to return to school or teach something. And it's also the house of publishing and media. So if you've been thinking about getting that blog going, get it going. Now, Virgo, this full moon, it's in your sign, and it's in the 1st house, which means it's all about you. It's fresh starts for you. Time for you to move forward, break free from whatever has been holding you back. And your new moon is in your house of shared resources, money that could come in from other sources. So it's a good time for you to pay off your debt and clear the slate. And you may get money in from some new opportunities that aren't your normal way of money making. It's also about close, intimate relationships, so you also might be thinking, should I stay or should I go? Now, Libra, the full moon for you is in your house of healing, in your spiritual house. So you, too, at this full moon, seek help if you need it with a healer or a counselor or a coach. You can get good help now to heal what you need to heal on a very spiritual level. Your new moon, well, that's in your committed relationships house. So you, too, might be thinking, this full moon might help you decide, am I in this relationship or do I need to go? Are we ready to take it to the next step? Are you ready to sign on a contract with a new business manager Wait till the retrograde is over, but you might be making some of those decisions. So you're deciding who do you want to be with on a really committed basis. Now, Scorpio, your full moon, that's in your house of friends and groups. So time to clear up some issues or dramas you might have in that connection. Maybe you'll learn some surprise info that might change who you want to be connected to, or you may be connecting to old friends that pop back. And your new moon, that's in your house of health and work. It's even the house of pets, so you might decide it's time to have an additional pet in your home. But it's time to address your bad habits and get a clean slate and prioritize what you need to do with your routines and your health. Sagittarians, the full moon, that's in your house of career, so you might get some surprises about your career on this full moon. Could be a job offer, a promotion, maybe a new opportunity coming your way. Remember, wait till the end of the retrograde to start, but it could be when you find out about what your next step might be. And the new moon for you is in your house of talents and romance. Maybe this new moon will bring you some recognition for your talents. You too might get people from the past appear, especially with the Venus in retrograde and the new moon in your house of romance. But fire up your talents. Get out there. Now, Capricorn, this full moon, this is a time for you to think about traveling and studying. Maybe, and big travel, like maybe an opportunity to go abroad. I'd recommend going to a place you've been to before, or else wait till after the Mercury retrograde. But new studies, going back to school, publishing is also highlighted for you. Now, the new moon, Capricorn, that's in home and family. So you might be thinking of finally doing that renovation or relocating or rebooting something in a family relationship and finally clearing the air so you can move forward. Aquarius, the full moon for you, that's in your house of finances, shared resources. Maybe you can get some clarity there. You might have some new money coming in for you. And you're going to be looking at your intimate relationships. Is it time to kick this up a notch, or is it time to commit, or is it time to release it? The new moon for you is in your house of communications, writing, media, new opportunities to collaborate, new projects for you Aquarians. And you might find those opportunities right in your neighborhood. And it's also the house of your siblings. So maybe you'll partner up with a brother or a sister on some new project. And Pisces. Pisces, for you, and happy birthday, all my Pisces friends. The full moon is in your 7th house, committed relationships. So it could bring a change in your love life or with business partners, maybe head in a new direction. You might also meet someone new, or an old lover reappears back into your life. But it's your season, Pisces, to really start planning what you want for the future. And the new moon for you is in your house of money, so you might have some new financial opportunities or time to redo that budget and really stick to it. Or some new money might come in or a new job opportunity, but think out of the box. So it's a time this month for many of us to reflect, pay attention to the areas for each of you that we talked about, because that's where you're being called to this month to make some changes or break old habits. And you have an opportunity to set things on a new course. But it is a time to plan. So don't let all these energies make you crazy. The world is a difficult place at the moment. We have many powerful energies calling our country, calling society. People are experiencing that. But stick to your own truth, because the lessons you need to learn, as Sarah was talking about earlier, are coming to you to address so you can evolve to a better place. Would you agree, Sarah?
I do agree. And I do feel that this is a year of, people really coming to an understanding as to who they are and what their mission is, what they're meant to do in our lifetime. And it's a pivotal time for us all to up-level our spiritual connection and to be in alignment with compassion, light, love, truth. And as the planet goes through a major metamorphosis, we have to be willing to change, just as my song says in the beginning of the show, the world is changing now. And it is changing, and there's nothing we can do to stop that from happening. We have to just allow things to change and for us to stand our ground in what we know is our truth, trust that the universe will change around us and force some changes on us, but there's some things that we cannot change inherently who we are because we have come to live in this lifetime for a reason that is a part of a divine plan, and we know our mission deep down inside.
And I hear. There's a lot of the energy now with Neptune that is very confusing to people, and it's murky, and we see deception, and we don't know what the truth is, and all those energies are in the air. You know, Neptune's moving into Aries on the 30th, and the message is we all know our inner truth, and that's what we need to guide us.
Yes.
And your gut and your intuition and your spirituality, that will always guide you in the right direction. And it's almost like the universe is forcing us to do that by giving us all this nebulous things flying around where we really don't have clarity, because only the real clarity is what's already inside of us.
Yes. And, you know, they say to thine own self be true. So I really want people to be true to themselves and know that the truth will come out in all areas of our lives. Well, Stacy, we're really glad that you get to enjoy some fun in the sun here in sunny South Florida, and we're really glad to have you joining us for our 759th live show, because I remember talking to you back in 2009 and saying, hey, Stacy, guess what? I just got given a radio show. So here we are all these years later, not just talking about it, not just me saying, hey, you should join me on air sometime, and you saying, no, no, no. Here we are finally doing it and really getting to help humanity. And I greatly appreciate your contribution here to us on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. And I really look forward to seeing you on Sunday.
I cannot wait to, and thank you for being so welcoming in Florida. I will get to the studio at some point so I could wave to everybody.
Okay.
And I love being on this journey with you, so thank you.
Thank you, honey. God bless you, and we'll be rocking around the clock next month. Let's see what happens in April, but for now, we've got quite enough to handle here with the eclipses and the retrogrades in the month of March. So everyone, just fasten your seatbelt, and if your car ends up going in reverse, don't worry. It's all part of the plan. Stacy, for now, we bid you farewell. We'll talk again soon. Bye for now.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
866-972-7247. If you're on hold, please don't hang up. We're going right back to the phone lines. And if you've got questions, comments on Facebook and YouTube, well, continue hanging out with us. We're so grateful we had Stacy with us. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're back to the phone lines. Don't go away. I'll be right back.
Know me, do I know you? Have we met before? I've been standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your song? Because you know that you know.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with SarahSpiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
SarahSpiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit SarahSpiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your song? Because you know.
Because you know that you know me. I am Sarah Spiritual, and you're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation at 866-972-7247. And we were just listening to Stacey Holler, who is our astrologer here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. We're so glad to have her join us once a month, giving us the update on astrology. And we most certainly look forward to having her join us next month and see what's coming up. We want to thank her for taking the time and all the preparation that is necessary to prepare each one of the astrological signs. And if you would like to have a personal session with Stacey Holler, you can visit her at destinyinthestars.com. That's destinyinthestars.com. And there you can connect with her and you can register for your own personal session. She can tell you what's going on. You can find her at the expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com website, and you can also find her at her destinyinthestars.com website. So we're really glad she's here enjoying Florida. We're going to go back to our phone lines, and I've got Kathy, and Kathy is in Oregon. Kathy, how are you tonight? Are you with us, Kathy? Good to have you. Oop. Let's see here. Maybe we seem to have lost Miss Kathy, so we're going to go to Gregory in Canada. Gregory, how are you tonight?
Oh, this is great. Thank you very much.
Good to have you here. How did you find us, Gregory?
Well, I've seen you on Facebook for like a few years, and man, you're so busy and stuff. I only got one reading done once in 2 years, so.
Well, you just got to get on the schedule. It's just like I'm on the bus going around town. Just get on the bus, honey, and we'll get you in. But Gregory, good to have you connect with us again. We're very appreciative of you continuing to follow us. We're always grateful for that. And I want to let you know that this year, Gregory, is a year of money. So it is a year of financial moves, financial choices. It is a year of shifts and changes to up-level the financial picture. Gregory, what is your burning question for us here tonight?
Well, I'd like you to sing another song for us.
Another song? What song you want to hear?
Don't Fear the Reaper? I don't know.
No. Well,
okay. Well, maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Well, I'm 60 and I'm just starting a new job, and it's kind of a little bit physical, and my little body is getting older, and I'm just wondering. I have a couple of health issues. I'm very minor right now, but I'm just a little concerned, like maybe I have a bit of a thing in my lung, constant cough I've had for years, and my tremor in my left arm, those are kind of the main things. If I can do this job for a while anyway, like and anything along those lines.
You can, and this is a year of kind of finding your rhythm and career. So interesting, we kind of talked about that when I first connected with you, not knowing what your exact question was. So I can tell you this: the most important thing is that you do the best you can with where you're at in the moment, and you ask the universe that if this is not the perfect fit, to open up another opportunity for you. Right? I feel like your body is not quite as old and feeling as you may be concerned that it is. So I want you to take comfort in that. I also want you to see your cells and your muscles and your ligaments all in alignment and seeing them perfectly illuminated in light and everything functioning. And when you feel your tremor kind of start, just say that, I am one with the divine presence, and that divine presence is the power to still any quiver in my body. So I have the power to control that energy, right? So you have to step into your power and kind of just relax that muscle, relax that arm, and just allow your power to kind of begin to still it, because you do have that power. It's just that's not something that we've exercised. So now, like anything else, we're going to begin to exercise this new skill set. Yes, it may feel a little uncomfortable because you're not used to doing some of this physical work that you're going to be up for. So I do feel that you'll be able to do it. Will you be tired when you get home? Yes. Will you be a little sore around the body here and there for a little while? Yes. But I do feel that this is something for you. I don't feel like it's the be-all, end-all. I do feel that there's another job opportunity that's going to come for you. There's something better, or maybe you'll show your strength there and they'll find another spot for you and it'll be a little more comfortable. So just like I was telling my story earlier, I don't know if you caught the story in the monologue where, I took a job that I didn't think would really be the right job for me and really didn't feel necessarily, I wasn't excited about it. It was a little bit way beneath my pay grade, but I did it anyhow, and it turned out to be the most magnificent choice I ever made in my life because it led me to exactly where I am now. So you make the choice, you choose it, you ask the universe to support you, and you ask them to facilitate change if that be necessary for you with ease and grace, right? We be still and we wait on what we see. I do feel this is going to assist you financially. I do feel that this year is going to kind of build some advancement for you financially. So I want you to look forward to that. And that'll make a big difference for you.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'll just stick with it and keep going forward. I'm on day 4 of my 7-day fast, by the way.
Good.
It cures a lot of stuff. Yeah. So changes are coming. Thank you very, very, very much.
You're welcome, and be sure to do your celery juice and everything. And there's quite a bit you can do to take care of that cough. I'm not a doctor, can't diagnose, but I do know that mullein leaf can also help with any excess phlegm and things that can disrupt the lungs. So you might want to take a look at mullein leaf and do some research on that and see if it's a fit for you.
I will do that.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and we'll sing you a song next time, all right? Bye for now. All right.
Looking forward to it. Good night.
Night. 866-972-7247. And from Gregory in Canada, I think we get to go to Jaden in Orlando. I think Jaden's been holding for a little bit. So, Jaden, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to connect with you. Round and round you go. Where you stop, nobody knows. This is the time for you to kind of get yourself in order here. I really feel there's like a lot of growth coming for you and a lot of decisions for you to be making in the journey of personal choice and in work. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. Wow.
Wow. And what's your burning question for us tonight?
So I was kind of hoping that I could let you kind of guide me. I'm kind of open to whatever it is. I definitely have some career path
You do.
questions. I'm in college right now. I'm trying to head off to law school within the next year, and I just got into a new relationship. So whatever comes to you,
Okay,
I'm happy
great.
to hear.
Well, let's get the life in order and better balance here because I feel like you've been go, go, go. And now it is time for you to take pause. It is time for you to kind of step out and trust the universe has your back. You're also very spiritually connected and guided, so I do know that you are learning to trust your intuition, even though you're a very left brain logical person. You are seeing your intuition kind of nudge you in the right direction. This is going to be not the easiest of years for you in school, but I do feel that you're going to make strong headway here. So I feel like we've got a lot on our plate, but you're just plowing through it and you're doing a great job. So if you feel like things get a little tough, just go, okay, this is going to pass. It's just temporary, and then I'll go on to the next class and I'll be fine. So just remember to say that for yourself to ease your own very busy mind. What is the birthday of the person that you are asking about? I just need their birthday so that I can just check the energy between the two of you.
Yeah, absolutely. So his birthday is January 31st, 2003.
Okay. So
Four.
here's the best.
2004.
All right. Here's the best thing about this person really knows how to think out of the box. They're kind of got a very intellectual, visionary mind here. So they're intellectually stimulating for you. You guys are a good vibe together. You most certainly get each other. So he can be not always as sensitive to all of your needs, if that makes sense to you, just because they have a great way of just figuring things out. But when I look at the power of the relationship, the two of you have a great connection. It's great dynamic. And so if sometimes it feels like your partner's shutting down and they're not quite connecting the way you want them to, just know that that's their personal style, and it doesn't mean that they don't care. That's just who they are. And I feel like the two of you are going to take a trip because travel is important to both of you. And have we planned a little trip, a little getaway?
We tried for his sister's graduation, but it didn't work out. It was a family thing, so that was supposed to be happening in March, but nothing planned yet.
Okay, well, something is coming, so just, we didn't get to do that, but something else will be coming here. So it's a nice relationship. It's a good one for the time that you're in, and we'll see how in sync the two of you can become, because I do feel that he, too, has a lot to do to step out of his box, out of his comfort zone. It's a creative time, a creative space, a time of finding inspired thoughts and being very intentional on what he wants next. And so that's going to occupy some of his energy and time for a while, but it is all meant to lead you both to a nice relationship and a nice connection. And you're going to do quite well in school, and this is going to be a journey for you to remember. And as I spin you forward and I take you to the year of 2028, I know that sounds like it's a far way out, but that year is really going to be a pivotal year in some of the accomplishments you make and some of the things you need to accomplish for your future career. So that 2028 is going to be like a great celebration of action and timeline for your career. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. So, I guess I just was calling to kind of find out if I'm on the right career path and just everything's going on. So I bet it gave me some really great insight.
You are very much so, and follow your intuition. It'll never steer you wrong. And Jaden, how did you hear about us here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah?
Yeah, so I've been listening to you guys, to you for years. A friend of mine, Allison, she's a second mother to me. Basically guided me, but the first time I called I was actually 17, so I was too young to be on the show, and now years later, I'm calling back.
Well, we're glad to have you, really glad to have you joining us, and thank you so much for listening, and it's a pleasure for us to be here for everyone week after week. So keep us posted on your progress. I look forward to connecting with you again in the future. Bye for now.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye. 866-972-7247. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. That's me, Sarah Spiritual. If you'd like to learn more about the work that I do, the sessions that I offer, the classes that I teach, the products that I have at the Expedito Enlightenment Center, please go to SarahSpiritual.com. There you'll find out all the information and just how to get to my center in West Palm Beach. And if you're not local, that's okay. You can shop on SarahSpiritual.com. You can shop on ExpeditoEnlightenmentCenter.com. And there you'll find a few of our products, but there's nothing like coming into the center and seeping up in that energy and just really enjoying everything that we have to offer. We're going to go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. And I need to go to Kevin, and Kevin is in Jupiter. Kevin, how are you tonight?
Hey, I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to make this connection with you, Kevin. Kevin, how did you hear about us?
Well, I listen to 95.9 every day when I'm working in my car for the True Oldies channel, but then this was on instead.
Right. What a switch, right?
Yeah, it's a different vibe, that's for sure, but I thought I'd call in because what the heck? I never called into a radio show before.
Well, good. Well, we welcome you. Good to have you here. And I really want you to know that this is really a time for you to follow your own inner guidance and your own path. It's really a year of being true to yourself. You're kind of done taking other people's disruptive ways. You really have to focus on what's going to be best for you. This is a year for you to step into your own. And it's really a year to get ready to advance yourself, because when I take you into 2026, which seems far away, but it'll be here before we know it, I see a level of career advancement for you, and that's going to offer you expansion financially. Are you looking to up-level your current position and get a different role of like a manager or someone in a district or something, please?
No, I definitely am not trying to do that. The problem is I don't have anything to upgrade to, and that's the real issue.
Well, then you leave. Then you leave where
some
you
kind
are.
of-
You leave where you are and you go somewhere else. All right. But I see that 2026 is going to offer you advancement and growth in your career, in your work, and it will be in a better level, better aspect of than where you are now at this time. So let your finances kind of be in the rhythm for this moment, but just know there's going to be great increase as we go into 2026, right? And remember I said earlier that Spirit said it's really important that you don't kind of take other people's opinion and take their disruptiveness. You really have to be true to yourself and kind of go to the beat of your own drum. And that's where you ultimately are going to find your rhythm and your joy, by kind of being true to yourself. What's your follow-up question for me, Kevin?
Well, that's pretty good advice, and I appreciate that. I'd say, I guess I'm looking for a sense of purpose, and it's not necessarily about financial gain. I just don't know what specifically it is I should do or what direction I should go in, but I know I want something meaningful, and that's what I've been missing.
That is what you've been missing. And then if I go back, I have to go back in time, and I need to go back to 2017, 16 into 17. That was a time of shift and change for you. And I feel like that was an opportunity for you to kind of go in a slightly different direction than the direction that you're in. And you're getting ready this year into next year to kind of close out some chapters of energy that are going to open up new possibilities. You are here to influence people. You are here you have a certain level of guidance. You're very good at dissecting things and figuring them out, but you're also very sensitive and intuitive in your own way, not necessarily the way that I am, So you have a great opportunity to inspire others. You're really meant to be someone who's like a leader, someone who is meant to influence others in a way that maybe is your job, or maybe something that is maybe a little bit more motivational, or something that is influential. Perhaps there's a topic or something you're excited about and passionate about that you feel would influence humanity or influence a group of people. And this may be expressed in something like a podcast, or something that is written and conveyed in something online. So there's a lot of opportunity for self-expression. But in order to get there coming into 2026, because that's a pivotal time, expansion of finances is also expansion of consciousness, creativity. We must be reflective this year, self-reflective, and see the things that really have brought us joy in the simplest of forms and truly finding purpose. I cannot tell you what your purpose is. Purpose is something that is wired in us, but also is part of the journey of self-discovery. And we discover it in the moments of joy of things we did, even from the littlest moments of childhood, that did bring us joy. And that even though we maybe saw ourselves as doing a sport or helping someone in a particular fashion, as we all fantasize as little kids, maybe someone wanted to be in show business, somebody else wanted to be a fireman. But whatever the goal is as a child, they have similar attributes, and those attributes are the element that is wired inside of you of ultimately who you're meant to be. And so I see that you have this wired in you, this sensitivity and this caring for people, but you also want to feel that you have the respect and recognition that is important to the energy that you bring to the table. Does that make sense to you, Kevin?
Sure. Yeah.
Good.
That's cool.
All right.
Thanks.
Well, we're glad you called in. Thank you so much. We hope you continue to listen to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. It's going to be 16 years this year, so come on, join the fun. You never know what's going to happen here on the show. So thank you so much for calling.
Of course. Have a good night.
You too. 866-972-7247. We're going to take a look and see if we have someone on Facebook. Who do we have on our Facebook and our YouTube page? Let's take a look and not forget our friends on Facebook and YouTube. Let's pull up our questions here. All right. We have Janet's Planet. Well, I hope Janet's having fun on our planet. Because Lord knows here on this planet, we might not be having so much fun. But let's go to Janet's Planet at YouTube. And let's take a look and see. Janet says, will I become financially independent through my investments by the end of this year? Well, Janet, I don't know about financially independent, but I do see financial growth coming for you. I do feel it's going to require a little bit more than just by the end of this year, but I do feel that this is a year for you to step in your personal power, to embrace your finances, and to set the boundaries and the criteria that's going to move you forward. If I can fast forward you to this time next year in 2026, I do feel that that's going to be a powerful time for you. It's also going to be a time of opportunities for that financial foundation to be laid and for it to really steadily grow from there. So you say by the end of the year, I say let's give it 18 months. You should be feeling much better and much more secure at that time. Thank you, Janet's Planet, for your YouTube question. Let's pull one more from our Facebook and our YouTube friends. And we want to thank all of you who follow us on Facebook and follow us on YouTube. It's great to have you be a part of our experience. We've got Melinda, 2626. And Melinda says, what's the best way to discover who your spirit guides are and ask them for guidance? I love this question, Melinda, and I have to tell you that when you sit alone in the stillness, it's to talk. Talk to your spirit guides as if you were talking to your best friend. And as you talk to your spirit guides, I want you to just ask them, or ask one of them to step forward, and that's energetically speaking, and give you a sign, give you a sense, give you a feeling. And continue to talk to them and ask them to let you know what it feels like for you as a human when they're around you in the energy. Maybe you'll feel a cool breeze. Maybe you'll get a left tingle down an arm. Maybe you'll get a sense of warmth come over you or a sense of peace. Maybe you'll take a deeper breath, and every time they come near you, you feel this sense of breath and breathing being much deeper and more peaceful. So you begin to develop that sense of, how do I know that they're with me? And then once you begin to know how they're with you, then you begin to sit still, and in the stillness, you say to them, I need to know a way I can refer to you. Please give me a name. Now, I have to tell everyone, spirit guides are not attached to the names. Very rarely does the name mean anything in their storyline. It is just something that we as humans require so that we can kind of hang our hat on knowing something about them, because that builds the familiarity and the connection that we desire. So you ask them to give you a name, and whatever you think you hear in your head, whatever pops in your mind, you want to go with that. And then that will become the name that you attribute to them. And then you begin your conversation, and then you begin to meditate more, and they'll begin to show you things in your mind. Perhaps they will show you things outside in the world. There'll be evidence. You can ask your spirit guide to please help you. When you're trying to navigate a particular situation, ask your spirit guide to be with you even when you're in your food store and help you find just the right product for yourself. It may sound trivial, but this is how you build a connection so that you are in sync with your spirit guide. And then when you're faced with life's questions and perhaps some of life's situations or challenges, you sit with your spirit guide and you say, what shall I do? What's in my highest and best good? And then a thought will pop in your head. A feeling will come over you. You may even hear like a chain of conversation in your mind, not necessarily an outside voice, but just a train of thought that pops through your mind. And as that comes through your mind, you kind of hold on to that and you kind of take that as your guidance. And well, I've got a lot of spirit guides that get to talk to me, so I'm always excited when someone asks, well, how do I talk to my spirit guides? Well, Melinda, we hope that we've given you and everyone else listening some great insight as to how to build a relationship with your spirit guides. Well, thank you so much for your YouTube question, and thank you everyone who's joined us here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation. Every Wednesday night from 6:30 to 9 p.m. What show was it? 759. My goodness, we are counting up here. So we are looking forward to having all of you join us next Wednesday night. Thank you so much. I am Sarah Spiritual. Visit my website, SarahSpiritual.com. And for now, we bid you good night. God bless you. And we'll see you next Wednesday.
Is different now. People have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be. 'Cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way.
This has been Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. You can hear and speak with Sarah Spiritual every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Each week, Sarah Spiritual and Spirit answer your most important questions as you navigate through life. Listen and call in next week and let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit guide you. If you didn't have a chance to speak with Sarah Spiritual tonight, visit Sarah at SarahSpiritual.com. You can message Sarah Spiritual at Facebook and follow her on Instagram. Tune in every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. with more from Spiritually Speaking with Sarah.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.